Who's your commander?
Good luck.
Equip.
Move to combat.
Resolves.
Now, before you attack
Does
me,
anyone have an answer?
well played.
Good game.
Hello friends, my name is DJ. This is the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel, and I have for you today quite possibly the most powerful legend out of IKORIA. Let's take a look at Kinnan Bonder Prodigy. Kinnan Bonder Prodigy is green and a blue for a 2/2 legendary human druid. Whenever you tap a non-land permanent for mana, add 1 mana of any type that permanent produced. Kinnan also has an activated ability, 5 green blue to look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may put a non-human creature card from among them onto the battlefield. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. So, Kinnan is going to supercharge all of our mana dorks and our mana rocks. That's something that we want in Commander. We want more mana. We always want more mana. And if we're already running dorks and rocks, then why not run a commander that makes them a little bit more effective? There's also the added bonus of that activated ability. 7 mana is a lot, but to take the top 5 cards and just slam a big creature onto the battlefield, that's pretty compelling. So there are 2 main ways that you can build Kinnan. You can go very competitive and race toward the combo. And then you try and throw in as much interaction and disruption and protection as possible. And then hopefully you combo out and you destroy your opponents. Super competitive. The other strategy is still really strong. It's about ramping out huge things and cheating gigantic creatures into play. And trust me, swinging with an Eldrazi as early as Kinnan can put it on the battlefield is very powerful. But it's a slightly different strategy than the race to combo deck. And sometimes if you look online, they take both of these very viable strategies and they smoosh them together and say, this is what a Kinnan deck looks like. And there's actually lots of ways to build Kinnan. And so hopefully I can walk you through a few of the key components and then you can kind of decide how you want to build your own Kinnan deck. First thing you need in your Kinnan deck is ramp. We all love mana dorks and soul ring. Some of us even like other elves that produce a lot of mana, but we are going to want a lot of mana producers in there. Some of the more competitive versions are going to use free mana rocks. Oh, they're so good. Mox Diamond, just playing it for free and it taps for 2, insane. The price tag on Mox Diamond is also insane, so don't feel like you need it for this deck. Maybe if you're trying for that explosive 0 mana Mox play, try Mox Amber. It's not as good, but oftentimes when you're going off or when you're having that explosive turn, Kinnan's on the battlefield, and that means that your Mox Amber will be active. I'm personally a fan of the artifacts that filter mana because in this deck, they no longer filter, they actually produce mana. So Arkham's Astrolabe and Prophetic Prism, they hit the battlefield, they draw you a card. These artifacts cantrip, and then they also produce mana with Kinnan on the battlefield. And of course, there's the mana rock that goes infinite all on its own. It's Basalt Monolith. Tap it to produce 3 mana, and 3 mana untaps the monolith again. With Kinnan on the battlefield, you tap it for 4 mana, and then untap it for 3. Tap it for 4, untap it for 3. Now, colorless mana will not let you activate Kinnan forever because you need that green and blue. We do have a lot of good places to put infinite mana. Walking Ballista will just machine gun the whole table to death. Genesis Wave for your entire deck puts every permanent onto the battlefield, and hopefully you have a way to win from there. And Finale of Devastation lets you get some big creature, but more importantly, it lets you weaponize all those mana dorks. Just pump all the mana that you want into this thing and then smash your opponents with those Llanowar elves and those Birds of Paradise. Basalt Monolith is not the only thing that goes infinite in this deck. Penman's Aura and Freed from the Real. If you attach one of these auras to a creature that can produce blue mana, well, you got infinite mana, and you got infinite mana of whatever color you want. This is the 3-card combo with your commander, and that's pretty powerful, especially because all of them are under 3 CMC, and there is some redundancy. You always have access to your commander. There are 2 of these enchantments, and you're already running all of these mana dorks. So yeah, it's a pretty resilient combo. You also have a built-in outlet for all of this mana too. Just activate Kinnan over and over and over again with your infinite mana, and then you're pulling every single creature out of your deck. Now, we don't always have to have infinite mana. We could just go big mana. Nyx Bloom Ancient could be a good hit off of Kinnan, or just give you a ton of big mana. You can also store up your mana from turn to turn with Kruphix God of Horizons. This is a much more fair way to play Magic. I'll sink 5 mana in this turn, save it up, and then I'll spend 6 mana the next turn to pay 11 for some huge Eldrazi. Speaking of which, what are we going to put onto the battlefield? We can either cast big creatures or cheat them into play with Kinnan. Let's talk Eldrazi. Put them all in, put none of them in, whatever you want, because they're non-humans. In fact, the biggest, baddest, most fun creatures to play are all non-humans. You want awesome dinosaurs? Slam them onto the battlefield. If you want to weaponize those mana dorks, Craterhoof Behemoth your opponents to death. If you love slamming those big creatures on the battlefield, you're gonna need more than one to close out the game. So let's activate Kinnan multiple times. Great Oak Guardian, when it enters the battlefield, will pump your dorks, but also untap everyone so that you can activate Kinnan again. You can activate Kinnan every single turn with Seedborn Muse. And with Intruder Alarm, every creature that enters the battlefield off of Kinnan's trigger will untap all your dorks so that you can activate it again. You know, the actions of untapping everything to activate over and over again has me thinking a little bit of Dramatic Scepter. It's a competitive combo where you use Isochron Scepter and Dramatic Reversal to activate it over and over and over again. I mean, in many of these situations where we're untapping all of our creatures only to activate Kinnan again, we're kind of paradox engineing here. Now, I described one way to win, and it's the more fair version. Ramp like crazy, play huge creatures before your opponents know it, and smash them. Craterhoof them to death. And yeah, that's a powerful strategy, but there's one that's even more powerful, and that's the combo route. We've talked about how easy it is to get infinite mana, and if you can activate Kinnan infinite number of times, then you don't have to wait for a combat phase to kill your opponents. You can use cards like Thrasios Triton Hero and Urza Lord High Artificer. If these creatures are in your deck and you have infinite mana, then you can win the game. Kinnan can immediately pull these out of your deck, but then you still got a deck left over. There's spells and lands and all sorts of stuff like that. Thrasios or Urza can get rid of those so that when you finally resolve your Thassa's Oracle, you win the game. Thassa's Oracle is just one of the easiest ways to win in competitive Commander. There's no wonder why people are looking at Kinnan very critically for how competitive it can be, because the best cards in this deck are also really strong in competitive Magic. Fast mana, like that Mox Diamond. Insane in competitive Magic and great in this deck. All those protection spells, that interaction, those free spells to protect yourself. Yeah, that's a staple in the competitive format. And a Thassa's Oracle win in the command zone, yeah, that's something that you really are looking for. So let's talk about the play pattern for each of these decks, and you can kind of decide whether either one of them are a good fit for you. The competitive version comes out fast with some of the fastest mana that's available in the format. You're constantly holding up interaction because your opponents are threatening to win at the drop of a Thassa's Oracle. Kinnan hits the battlefield and then you're activating it over and over and over again, pulling all of the relevant creatures out of your deck, and then essentially exiling your entire deck or drawing it all. You're going to have tons of interaction. No one's going to be able to deal with you. And then Thassa's Oracles will trigger and you'll win the game. Now, the more straightforward version, you still start off strong with tons of mana dorks, tons of ramp. So when everyone's ramping, you're ramping too, but then suddenly you play the Kinnan and then you're jumping ahead of everyone else. People can't keep up as you're playing relevant spells and spells that are bigger than you should. Suddenly people are having to deal with Eldrazi and Nezahal, slamming into them, and they're at risk of you comboing out of nowhere, and then suddenly you will activate Kinnan over and over and over again, and then you'll have a monstrous walking ballista shooting everyone to death or smashing everyone with a finale of devastation. Listen, there's no wrong way to play Magic. Pick the deck you like and pick the deck that fits your playgroup and have fun. All right, everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. I want to thank Cool Stuff Inc. because they sponsor the Jumbo Commander YouTube channel. Thank you, Cool Stuff Inc. And thank you if you want to get 5% off your order at Cool Stuff Inc. Use the coupon code JUMBO5. And thank you to my patrons. There would be no Jumbo Commander YouTube channel without them. Thank you, thank you. And of course, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm excited to talk even more about Commander 2020 and IKORIA. Why is there so much going on right now? It's insane. All right, everyone. Bye-bye.